Transcendence. In the previous texts and definitions, I explained the universe, what is thought and how the brain of any being in the universe works. Therefore, by understanding something, so-called transcendental, we must recognize that all the components of that understanding are of this side, as a topic, as a thinking process, fruitful or barren, and as a conclusion, good or bad. Transcendence itself is a term taken from the set of all ideas. Ideas, as we have said, exist independently of the set of all material things, i.e., regardless of whether there is a mind that can reach them, ideas or not, or, as themes, draw them into itself. The so-called transcendental, as a theme, draws one's brain into this world, into thinking. That the very notion of transcendence belongs, by content, to a subset of the set of all ideas, which we call fantasy, is valid until we prove that what we consider otherworldly, transcendent, is not thisworldly, bearing in mind the following: as long as the brain is involved in something, that is this side. Since only ideas and nothing are independent of this world, as things in themselves and things not in themselves, anything else that we consider transcendental, otherworldly, is not, but is this world. Let's take the concept of God. Just because someone is unable to understand what God is, does not mean that God is beyond. Mathematics is otherworldly in the sense that it does not depend on God. All ideas, as Plato said, exist before and independently of all manifestations in God. However, there is one thing that Plato did not understand. Only all material manifestations and all relationships between them belong to God. But ideas do not belong to God. They belong neither to Him nor to themselves. They exist as nothing also exists, neither to themselves, nor by something or someone else. So ideas and nothingness are independent of God. God knows that. Nothing on this side was created from an idea, or according to an idea. All possibilities are in God. God did not create anything according to a plan, but determined impossibilities. Or the impossibilities were placed by themselves, as meaninglessness towards meaningfulness. If real things were dependent on ideas, or contained in them, as Plato already imagined, then the number 999, for example, would have to have some image and material form, like a horse, for example. A horse is possible in God, and the number 999 can be understood as an element of the set of ideas, just as there are ideas of time and space, but they are not reality, but an illusion. Transcendental logic, therefore, is proof of civilization's weak-mindedness, because only nothing and ideas are transcendental. The worker, the work or the product of the work, the types of work and hence the types of products, the polarized universe, that is, the polarized God, are of this side. Thought as energy, which is essentially the universe itself. An idea as a thing of this world, imagined, and as a product of the mind, through the work of the brain, and as a thing that exists without its own need for a thinker and opinion, that is, without the need for a brain, thinking and conclusion. God is of this side. Ideas do not need Him. Man is of this side, ideas don't even need people. every action and every product of the mind is of this world, as is the mind itself, which is the working ability, or inability, of the brain. Since we have explained the constituent elements of the Absolute, and thought as a measurable thing, a portion of energy with an identity, it should be clear to us that God and the devil are products of brains that do not understand the whole. Meaningful dualities are only the polarities of living things, inanimate matter, and God Himself, which is polarized into self-unconscious and self-conscious. Like two poles of the same type of energy, raw and refined.